Welcome back to News USA. It is January 13th, 2021, and it has been made official. President Trump has become the first president to be impeached twice. We saw this coming. This was to be expected after the events that took place on January 6th and his involvement in them. His speech leading up to those events sparked this bipartisan effort to make sure that he was impeached. The House convened, and they convened quickly. Some thought that it should have been quicker, but we're talking about a week, so I don't think that's too bad. In a week, he's been impeached for his involvement in inciting an insurrection at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Now, yes, he's been impeached. It still has to go to the Senate. The majority leader right now, Mitch McConnell, has said that the Senate will not be reconvening early. He's not going to call an emergency vote or an emergency trial for the impeachment process. It's going to take place afterwards. So people are kind of asking them, what's the point? Well, I believe what the Democrats are trying to do is get it to where President Trump cannot run again in 2024. Now, some say that this may be a stretch, but it may not be. We've heard over the last couple of hours that maybe the last day or two that Mitch McConnell is pretty much pleased with the fact that President Trump was being impeached. He is very upset about what happened at the Capitol building, especially as a Senate majority leader. And he was not in disagreement. You saw the Republican leaders tell their Republican constituents to vote with their conscience, however they felt. They did not try to deter them from voting however they felt. And we ended up with 10 Republicans actually signing on with a yay instead of a nay to vote in favor of impeachment of President Trump. So what Democrats are looking for is, once they have pretty much the majority in the Senate, which is a slight majority, it's 50-50, but Kamala Harris will have the tie-breaking vote. Once they have that, they have the ability to bring things up on the Senate and to kind of push it through and, bring it to the forefront and make sure that it's at least acted on. Now, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to be able to convict him. You're still going to need 2/3. So I believe it's 67 votes that you're going to need in order for that to happen. So you're still going to need 17 Republican senators to sign on in favor of convicting Trump after this impeachment, which is not impossible. If you look at the number after this last week, Trump's approval rating has dropped significantly. I think it's down in the 30% nationwide, 30 or 40% nationwide. And within government, the officials who were polled, I think it's down to 42%, if I read that correctly. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it has dropped significantly. So it's not entirely impossible that, 17 of them, at least 17 of them, Republicans, that is, senators, would not sign on in favor to convict President Trump to where he doesn't have the ability to run again in 2024. Who's to say that he would? He'll be much older then, but, it's not impossible. But I think that's what they were trying to do, make sure that it sends a message that they're not going to be bullied. They're not going to be, the mob is not going to control the law of the land, and they definitely don't want an individual person believing that he has the power to control the United States of America. There are checks and balances, and they were put there for a reason. So President Trump has been impeached for the second time. He's the first U.S. president that has ever happened to. So that will go down in the history books with his name beside it. And I'm pretty sure he's not too happy about that. We'll have to see how he responds. Haven't heard anything as of right now. As we all know, most of his social media sites are shut down, but he is still currently the president of the United States. He can hold a press conference in an instant if he wanted to. So he can reach out and speak. Believe it or not, there was a time before there was social media, so people were able to speak then too. So, yeah, he's been impeached, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If there's going to be a shift The power of incumbency, the fact that he is president makes him appear very powerful. But remember, once he's out of office, he becomes a civilian again. He does not have the same powers that he had before. He does not have the same capabilities and abilities. He's pretty much a civilian just like you and me. He's a normal human being. He may have some, perks or whatnot, secret services and things of that nature, but he does not have that power of incumbency. So that may be something that kind of pushes the other Republicans over the edge and kind of pushes them to where they don't feel like there's any political jeopardy for them, and they'll go ahead and speak their true thoughts or how they're really feeling and make that shift if they haven't already. Some of them already have, but if they haven't, we may see that happen. Who knows? But yeah, President Trump, first president in the United States history to be impeached twice. Stay tuned to News USA.